If you feel inconsistent where you start things but you can never really follow through because you feel stressed or distracted or mentally scattered, you might not have a consistency issue, it might be a financial security issue. When your finances feel unstable, it creates constant background stress, and that impacts how you think, how you feel, and how you show up. In this series, we've been breaking down the 5 systems that create identity stability, which we know is the source of what will enable us to achieve all of our goals. We talked about identity design, which is about defining who you want to become. We also talked about emotional stability, which is a home that you build within yourself. Even if you have alignment in both of these areas, if your life feels unstable financially, it will still pull you out of alignment. The problem is that financial stress doesn't only impact your bank account, it impacts every area of your life. It impacts your nervous system. So if you're coming from a state where you're constantly stressed about your finances, you feel constant pressure about what's coming in or what's leaving, from that state, you cannot show up as your ideal version. You cannot build a stable identity on an unstable foundation. The goal with the financial security system is not necessarily to make more money, but rather it's to feel in control of your finances. You have clarity over your situation, and your life is no longer driven by financial stress. The first step in the financial security system is simply awareness. Awareness of where your finances stand, and this awareness is going to bring back your power when it comes to your finances. A lot of people's stress with finances comes from simply not being aware of what's coming into their bank account, what's leaving their bank account, and really where the finances are going. So when you start to avoid this awareness, that creates even more anxiety about the unknown. Really, step 1 with awareness is simple. Pull out a spreadsheet, that could be Excel or Google Sheets. I personally use Google Sheets. And take the current month and really start to lay out every single transaction that you have in your bank account, and also transactions that you've made in cash. This might take a little bit, but the practice of just knowing exactly where each cent is going to relieve you of so much anxiety, because you'll know exactly where your money is going. The second step is to regain control. Now that you're aware of where exactly your money is going, this is your opportunity to regain control by either determining where you want to cut off money from leaving your bank account in certain areas of your life, or where you might want to shift money around to reinvest in other areas. This really brings the power back to you so that you feel like you are managing money and money is not managing you. I personally do this through a very simple, clean structure on a Google Sheet. I'll have one section that has a breakdown of my fixed expenses, my savings, and my flexible expenses, and I'll have a goal percentage that I want to allocate each month from my paychecks. And then I'll have another section, another tab in my spreadsheet where I will list out every single expense that I've had for the month. Having a structured framework that you follow with your finances will make you feel like you have so much control over the money that you have coming into your bank account, and will really allow you to have a clear picture of where everything is going, and that makes you feel like you are actually managing your accounts. The third step is to move from control into security. Now that you feel like you have a little more control over your finances, you can now start to build a stable, secure foundation for you to fall back on in the case of something coming up in life. It's inevitable. Sometimes we get hit with a medical bill that we didn't anticipate. Something happens to someone in our family, or we just need to pull from an emergency savings fund. It's really essential to have this so that if these scenarios come up in your life, you know exactly how you're going to manage it. Even Even small progress towards this would look something like having a dedicated emergency savings fund where you even start to set aside a few dollars every week or every month that you continue to build over time. This might also be an opportunity to see if you might want to build additional streams of income. So having a structured layout and a full clear picture of where your finances stand is really just going to make it a lot more clear for you to see where you currently stand. And the last step here is to align your money with your identity. You might start to realize that some of the areas that your finances are going towards don't necessarily support the newly claimed identity that you are becoming. So going back to the marathon example, you might be having a lot of your finances going towards eating out or going out to drinks at bars or lounges, and maybe that doesn't necessarily align with the goal that you have right now to run a marathon. Then this might be a signal to you to identify where you want to reallocate the funds so that it can support the newly claimed identity. Money is not separate from identity. It either supports it or it disrupts it. So this is really the opportunity for you to identify, what does the version of me that I'm becoming prioritize financially? Your financial decisions should reflect your identity. And when it doesn't, it creates internal conflict. When you don't have financial security, you're living in a constant state of pressure. And the way that pressure shows up in your life is through inconsistencies, falling off, a lack of focus. But when you have financial security, it creates space in your life to allow you to invest your time and energy in areas that will support and enable your newly claimed identity to thrive. This is why financial security is such a core part of your identity, because having security and control over your finances removes instability, and it really allows you to show up more consistently. In the next video, we're going to break down the fourth system, which is environmental alignment. Because even if you feel aligned with your identity design, your emotional stability, and your financial security, if your environment contradicts these areas, that is going to lead to friction. I'm Eileen. I'm a first-gen Latina living her dream reality that I have built using the 5 core systems that I'm walking you through now. So if you like this video, definitely give it a like and subscribe so we can continue building together.